Welcome to the PaynePoints Podcast. We tell the stories of small businesses, the people that run them, and the journey they are on. Our purpose is to gather a new perspective on starting, growing, maturing, and maintaining businesses of all sizes. So grab that cup of coffee, sit back, and join us as we start the conversation. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. I'm your host, Sarah Harbuck, and joining me today is Kristin Ellis.
Good morning.
Our very special guest is Amy Coe of Snark Heart, joining us from Oregon. So thanks, Amy, for getting up early today.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Yay! So we want to know about you. And talk a little bit about you, the person, Amy, before we get into your business.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, your family life, where you live, where you grew up, some fun things about yourself that people may not know.
Okay. I'm Amy Coe. I was born and raised in Great Falls, Montana, and I now live in Canby, Oregon. I got here out to the West Coast as fast as I could. This is just where I belong. I absolutely love it here. It fits my lifestyle a little more, and there's way less snow than Montana, which, in my opinion, is one of the most important things. So
yes. I'm not sure how Montanans. Is that how you say that?
Yeah, Montanans.
Montanans. I know if you grew up there and you live there, it's just your normal. But after the snowpocalypse a couple months ago, I never want to see snow again.
Where we had like under a foot of snow for a week, and everything shut down, and nobody had power or water.
Well, it never got above, freezing. Yeah. And I was like, this is how people live normal.
We're not built for this.
In some places, no
well,
thanks.
And that's the thing. You don't have the infrastructure for it, whereas Montana does,
Yeah.
I mean, even out here in Oregon, we had an ice storm just before you got snowpocalypse, and we just weren't built for it. We don't have any of the infrastructure. So I get it. I have compassion.
Thanks. So. We appreciate that. So you grew up in Montana. Now you live in Oregon. A fun fact that some people might find interesting is Amy and I have actually known each other online. We've never met in person until today. I guess you could call this person as
Zoom call.
For the moment.
But we've known each other for 18 years online and are just now getting to talk face to face. I don't know if you were ever part of that group phone call we did many years ago that Amanda organized, but so it's been a long time on the interwebs being friends with, back in the day. Anybody remember message boards that people used to be part of? Yeah, well, that was how we met. And we were both big into crafting and scrapbooking, and we were both professional photographers. So we had a lot in common.
There you go.
And then, Amy, why don't you tell us kind of your journey through your different careers? Because your newest endeavor is not something you've been doing super long, but you've been in the creative industry for a really long time.
Absolutely. So once I started having kids, I realized that I wanted to be able to have great portraits of my children. But I was too poor at the time to be able to afford to go to a portrait studio. So I taught myself photography. And for 14 years, I ran a portrait business. And for about 13 of those years, it was incredibly successful. In fact, to a point where I wasn't ready for the growth that we had. So I got really big and didn't always necessarily handle my business as well as I could have. But I made some really great images and had a lot of fun doing it. And then when we were getting ready to move out to Oregon, we decided not to continue the business. And at first I thought, how am I going to live not being a photographer anymore? Mm-hmm. And actually I've adapted quite well.
I'd say so. I think we are both, photography was a big part of our life, and we both moved on from it, and we both are maybe even happier to have separated ourselves from the work side of photography and can do it more for fun now.
Absolutely.
I'm getting a little ahead of myself talking about your business. I wanted to know, you were a photographer for a long time. Now you're into creative art, making things with your hands and designing. What did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, when I was really little, I wanted to be an attorney. So,
wow.
Yeah. It runs in the family. My oldest child is actually going to school to hopefully get into the law program after Air Force Academy. So,
okay.
Wow. Yeah.
So when you really literally you wanted to be a lawyer, that's a weird thing for a kid to like, I want to be a lawyer.
I want to be a lawyer, yeah.
Usually they're like, I want to be a veterinarian, or I want to be a policeman, or, you know. Like,
yeah, firefighter.
What sparked that interest in you?
I grew up about the time when LA Law was starting to be on TV.
Oh.
So, and I saw strong women on that show litigating and just like being outspoken. And I've always been just outspoken, unfortunately, for my family. So I can't really keep my mouth shut, unfortunately. And so I figured that was a great profession.
Yeah.
And then I realized it would cost $100,000 to become one. So I did.
Yeah.
Then I got married and I had all these little kids, and then started the portrait business. And then once my children started getting old enough and going off to college, I didn't know exactly what to do with myself. From the time that I quit my portrait business until the time the kids went to school, I wasn't working outside of the home because it was really nice that I could stay home and help the kids through high school. I mean, that's just such a transitional time. And I was able to be there for all the things, you know, their sports events, their art events, all of those kinds of things. I was able to be there. So once they started leaving the nest and heading off to college, I was trying to figure out what to do with what little time I had, that extra time that I had.
Yeah.
And I recognized that my son was at Air Force Academy. There's 5 service academies. And I realized there's like probably 100,000 families with probably 50,000 crazy moms who like to spend money on stupid things like photo jewelry. So I figured I would combine the things that I'd done in the past with photos and jewelry and start offering those to cadet families. And unfortunately, I didn't do anything at all.
Yeah.
So, but you know, one day in frustration, February 2020, I made a charm that said my cat hates Trump too. And I posted it. Yeah. It's a great charm.
I remember when you posted that.
So I posted it on a Snarky Crafters board, and in 24 hours I had 1,800 likes, and I thought, oh, well, maybe this is my career path.
There you go.
Sometimes the failed unsuccesses are what lead us to what is successful. You know, you had to try the other thing to come to the place where you are currently. So
I think just being open to the universe, you know, and being willing to consider other options and other things, it really makes a big difference, you know, just keeping your heart and mind open to a different path. So am I getting ahead of you here?
No, you're good. That's actually my next question was, how did you get into this business?
Yeah.
And that's exactly how you did it. It sort of happened upon you, you know, getting all those likes in the group. I'm sure that was like a light bulb moment. Like, oh, maybe I could turn my snarky, over opinionated things into an actual business.
And I love that because I was going to ask where the name Snark Heart came from. Now I get it. It's perfect. That's great. Yeah.
Well, what really happened with Snark Hearts is a few years ago, I made Valentine's conversation hearts exactly like I actually molded them from the candies. So it looks like the little chalky candies.
Yeah.
And then I stamped on the top of them much more subversive sayings than real candies. And I thought, well, we could go with hard candy, and that's a little too obvious. And then I went with Snark Heart, and it just kind of fell into place.
That really fits. That fits with all the things that you have going on in your store, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But, you know, working in an industry like this, and you and I had a private conversation yesterday, and you're like, I'm happier than I've ever been, and this is like, I'm really in my little niche here. What habits do you do on a daily basis that kind of sets you up to keep with that positive frame of mind and set you up for success?
You know, just having learned from my last business experience, I really learned that I personally need to stay on top of everything. So I need to check my orders, check my messages every single day, make sure that I've got supplies made. So if I'm selling a lot of jewelry right now, that I've got popular designs ready to go. I've got stickers ready to go if I'm selling a lot of stickers right now. Just really trying to make sure I have all of my stock in hand and ready to go so that I'm not kind of flat-footed. So
yeah, I mean, I think that those logistical things are super important.
They are, and they're so easy to get behind or to get to where you don't want to.
Yeah.
You know,
I want to. It's so mechanical of a part of the job.
Yeah.
It's like the boring part. We're making sure you have the inventory.
Yeah, I want to spend my time creating. I don't want to have to, you know. But then that's where a lot of people can be a downfall for a lot of businesses is that they don't force themselves and have the discipline to take the time to stay on top of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Well, and I also have been diagnosed with ADD years ago. So I know if I don't follow my set path, like, okay, if I don't get my orders out on Tuesday, it's going to set everything else for the rest of the week up for failure, you know, so
snowball. Yeah.
Do you use any kind of tools to help you sort of track your progress, or what jobs are in motion, or what orders have come through, or do you just kind of wing it?
I just kind of wing it, honestly. I mean, I don't really have like a set schedule or anything, but I kind of know, okay, well, it's Monday. I need to look and see what kind of orders I have to get ready for tomorrow. So I can be thinking about what things I need to print. And, you know, Tuesday's just kind of my least favorite day of the week, or the least fun day of the week, where, you know I've got to sit down and make sure all my orders are getting out. But then the rest of the time I can concentrate on the other fun things of my business.
Yeah. I understand. Tuesday is the make sure you have everything ready for the deadlines day for me too. So I get it. Tuesdays I kind of dread a little bit.
Tuesday, Monday, 2.0. Right?
Exactly.
Do you have anybody that inspires you, or is there something that you draw your inspiration from?
Oddly enough, are we okay? Okay. Yeah. Andy Armstrong from our photography days. Oh wait, you weren't in that group. Never mind.
Probably.
We can cut this part out.
Sorry.
I actually look a lot at Pinterest, and I look at current advertising too. I could really kind of get a feel for what, graphic design trends are looking really hot right now. So I definitely pull from what other smarter people are doing and kind of make my own style from there.
I mean, I think a lot of people follow trends, and then they sort of adapt it to their own style or their genre. So I feel like that's kind of common. That's a smart thing to do.
Yeah, everybody does that. Yeah.
Check out what's happening in the world, see what everybody else is doing, and kind of go, okay, I can mold my style around that.
It makes me feel bad that I'm not a complete innovator, but you just go where the tides are and follow where the money is. I also watch the news constantly. So if there's a soundbite, or if some bozo goes off to, say, Mexico in the middle of a snowstorm, who's supposed to be taking care of a certain state, then I can get the product out. One of my biggest things is to get a product out as soon as the soundbite hits. So, during a debate, if somebody says something like, come on, man, I have a sticker rolled out within 3 or 4 hours, so I can be capitalizing on that.
Wow.
Yeah. I think that's an interesting thing too, because a lot of people aren't as up on the current events. Now, granted, for your specific business, that's probably necessary, but I like that you're kind of listening to all the pop culture and political and just commentary of our society and taking that and going, how can I turn this into A, something for awareness, B, something creative and fun, and C, I'm going to make money off of it. So,
And D, it's also kind of, it's an antiseptic for the soul. For me, absolutely. If I don't keep that inside of me anymore, then I can be a happier, freer person. Whereas before, all of this was just building up and just weighing heavily on my soul. And now I get it out there. And there's moments of discontent. There are moments that I'm just absolutely outraged with what's going on in the world. But if I can kind of keep some of that off of the inside parts of me, then I can be a little lighter and happier person.
Yeah, well, you're also highlighting the humor in some of these events that because that's what you got to do. You either get bogged down or you learn to laugh.
Yeah, exactly. And power through it. Yeah, and also too, in doing this, you realize I'm not alone, and other people feel this way, like I do, or think this way. So it's one of those things that because we always tend to think I'm so alone, and I don't nobody supports what I think, and that's not really true. I feel like things like this kind of just open people up to being able to see, hey, we're all pretty similar here, and probably think more than
Absolutely, for sure.
realize.
Yeah, it's a thing that's bringing us together during all of this division that is going on right now.
No
so
kidding. So. Well, on happier note, what are some hobbies that you do that are outside of your typical business, or anything that you do that you like to do when you're, have some time off, if that is such a thing for you as a small business owner?
I was gonna say there's time off. What's that?
I know,
I know.
But some people really, some people do have that luxury. Some people really force the issue on themselves to be able to distance.
Yeah, it's nice.
Work hours and downtime hours. So do you try that at all?
No, but I'm always trying new products, trying to figure out different ways to get to people. And for me, that is the enjoyment, is the development of new products, development of new ideas. So honestly, that's what I do for enjoyment.
That's kind of like a hobby then.
Yeah. Definitely.
The fun part of your job is to sit down and really hash out the creative stuff and designing things.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm working on some different ideas. I'm working on an offshoot business, the Snark Supply Company, to be able to provide things to other crafters who might not have been able to find some of the supplies that they wanted in the past. So that's what I've been working on lately, and just figuring out, how do I get rid of supplies that I might not be using anymore, but other people could, or create new things that people will enjoy. So
yeah.
That's one of the biggest things I'm working on right now.
That's cool. I have to ask, just as somebody else who enjoys crafting and things, but I have a hard time finding space and organization for all the supplies. Do you have any tips or tricks for that sort of thing?
That's a tough one. Because if you can kind of see behind me, I'm not so good at organization.
No, it looks great. That's what I was.
Well, I think step one, have an extra room to be able to put it all in.
Well, there's that. Yeah.
Right, Amy?
When we moved into this house, we had to move in July. Moving in the middle of a pandemic is as much fun as you'd guess.
I would imagine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to move, and I thought, downsize, this will be great. And then when we started thinking about all these things, I realized I don't know how many kids I'll have living at home next year, because we started the remodel of our last house to get ready to move a year ago. Right. Literally, we started the remodel the day after the world shut down. We started on March 14th, 2020. Yeah. So I didn't know, would I have kids living at home in 2021 or what? So we ended up buying a house literally 4 square feet bigger than our last house, because we just didn't know. So for that, I do have my own office space, which has been an absolute blessing. That's really
nice. Yeah,
that helps when you can have a room to just shove it all in, shut the door. You know, and the kiddos can't get in. Well, you've got small children, so it's a different issue.
It's different. My office / craft space / homework / feed the children / it's the dining room table. It's the dining room table. It's all right there. Yeah. And there's just
multi-purpose
boxes
at
everywhere.
That point, you just have to utilize the space you have in the most creative way
possible. Yeah, I know. That's what I need, is creative tips for organization.
Maybe you could become the next Marie Kondo in the craft world.
There you go.
Oh no, I would be careful. Like, I see so much value in this. You should keep this one too.
Yeah.
Even though you have like 6 bins of blue buttons, like, no, you might need those ones. So I will not be your Marie Kondo.
You fuel the obsession and have people see, I could use this and this in the future.
Yeah. But I think that's a great idea to take your supplies and make the offshoot business of letting other people, rather than letting them go to waste or just sit and collect dust at your house, let other people utilize them. I think that's awesome.
Let's hope.
All right, so we have this section of the podcast where we do these rapid fire questions, and you just we ask the question, and then you just answer the first thing that comes to your mind. It's kind of a personality thing, and people get to know, she likes this, she likes that.
Get to know you a little bit better.
So I'm going to turn that over to Kristin and let her do that with you.
Sure.
And I'm going to curiously wait your answers.
All right. First off, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
I haven't. I've had lemonade.
No.
Lemonade. So you're
not a coffee drinker?
Occasionally I have some, but it's not a definition of my personality.
All right. Well, that was the next question, was how do you take your coffee?
Lots of cream and lots of sugar, short, fat, and white, just like me.
I love that. That's got to be a quotable moment right there.
It wants lots of sugar, so it's a little sweeter than I am, but that's...
What is your favorite song right now?
Oh gosh, what is my favorite song right now? That's tough. Oh,
I know they change.
no. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts lately, so that's not good. Hamilton. Hamilton is what I've been listening to. Like we have a friend who passed away who introduced us to Hamilton, and so that's always kind of my go-to if I'm needing comfort food for the brain.
Nice, very nice. Do you have a TV show or anything that you're currently keeping up with? And if so, which one?
I don't watch a lot of TV, and it's not like, oh, I'm better than you. I don't watch TV. I just
don't. You don't have time to watch.
I don't have time. I'm busy working. But my husband and I often watch ID before bed, and we always say we're going to watch a soothing murder before bed. So
it always comes back to this true crime
single episode we record. True crime comes out.
Maybe the universe is telling us something. You need to do a true crime podcast.
We've got to figure out how to incorporate that into small business, so we can do an episode.
Every other small business owner I know loves true crime stuff.
I know.
It's crazy.
I know. We got to figure out what is this psychological what is the why is that behind that? What is your favorite book?
Charlotte's Web.
It
was my first big book when I was a kid, and just like it will be the book I always give to people, that or the BFG by Roald Dahl. Those are the books I give to people who are having kids.
Those are good ones. Those are really good ones. Yeah, the James and the Giant Peach. I remember that one from when I was a kid.
Or Where the Sidewalk Ends.
Yeah. All right, sorry. Favorite flavor of ice cream?
I don't eat ice cream.
Yogurt?
It's incredibly rare. I know you should take my woman card away. I don't like it.
No. It's okay. That's okay. Do you eat
if
yogurt?
I do find one, I like it to be really creamy and not outrageously sweet, which is odd because I love everything else sweet, but I don't really like ice cream.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Weird, huh?
I don't know if is it I'm just being curious. I'm just probing. Is it a texture thing, or do you have sensitive teeth, or
I just never have liked it. It's just not ever been my go-to thing. Now, give me a Cadbury cream egg, and we're talking a whole different story.
That right there, yeah. I can't eat a lot of ice cream because all the dairy, just gives me really bad stuff.
I literally keep these in my drawer.
You got a stash of Cadbury cream eggs.
That's awesome.
You can order these on Amazon if you run out after Easter. Just saying.
In bulk, yeah. There you go.
That's a good tip to have.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke. Ew.
Yes.
Coke.
Right? Yes. Okay. Sweet or salty?
Depends on the time of day.
Gotcha. Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Beach. Zodiac sign?
Well, I'm a cusp, so I cherry pick. So I'm like, I can be Aquarius according to some. I could be Pisces to others. I'm probably more Piscean than not.
Okay, gotcha. Spring, summer, fall, or winter?
Oh, spring. Spring is so special in the Pacific Northwest. Just all the trees just barf flowers all over the place.
I imagine that would be beautiful. Introverted or extroverted?
Introverted. I grew up thinking I was an extrovert. I did theater and all these things. And then kind of towards the end of my portrait business, I realized, oh my gosh, I hate people.
I get it. I think that's a realization that a lot of people come to, especially as you start getting older. You're just like, people suck.
I know for a lot of people, this pandemic thing, in the socially distancing and not being able to see people has been really hard for them. And for me, it's been like the best piece of my life.
It's been so nice. I only see the half a dozen people that I want to see.
Anyway,
sorry. Favorite color?
Black like my soul. Actually, if I had to really truthfully answer, mint. I am completely surrounded by mint green. I love mint green. It makes me happy.
Nice.
Yeah, they're your little water bottle.
Mint green, signature color.
Or Tiffany blue, but I can only afford one little bracelet of Tiffany. So
I'm with you there. Okay, highly contested question coming up.
Okay,
is a hot dog a sandwich?
No, it's just a hot dog. Just a hot dog.
Just a hot dog. It's its own category.
And
last question, do you have a favorite social media platform?
Facebook. I'm just desperately addicted. It's so obscene. Recently, I got banned for 3 days. I know this is shocking to 0 people. But the funny thing is, I wasn't even being mean. Like, I've done some horrible, horrible things on social media, and I've never gotten banned for them. This woman, I said to this woman, I can't wait to watch you make rosacea your bitch, because we both suffer from rosacea.
Gotcha.
And Facebook thought I was bullying her. And I'm like, no, dudes, seriously, I was supporting her.
You were lifting her up. Yeah.
So I can't even always be my authentic self because it gets me banned. So.
Gets you in trouble. I think a lot of us have that problem. Being our authentic
I just don't
selves.
get on social media very often. Like, I literally jump on long enough to check in on all my people and my groups, and then I'm off. Because it really, at this point, I just see news stories that make me so angry.
Make me angry
and
or
I'm just
sad.
like, I really don't, or sad. And so I'm like, I don't need the peace of my day disrupted by that. So I'm going to just not for right now.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Snark Heart.
Yes.
Because, that's why you're here. But, you kind of told us a little bit about how you got this business started. It's kind of been a creative process, and you tried this one thing and it didn't pop off, and this now you're in this. Tell us a little bit about the types of products that the range of products you offer. Because, we can't show anybody on a podcast. So
I know, that's really sad. It's too bad they can't see it.
Right. We're going to do video eventually. We just haven't integrated that yet. So.
Well, for the sake of everyone in my rosacea flare, it's probably a good thing we're not doing full video today anyway.
Right.
So I originally started with primarily political types of jewelry. So my cat hates Trump 2-piece, my dogs hate Trump, all that kind of stuff. I don't know how much this will make this to a Texas podcast, so this will be fun.
We have global listeners, so it's cool. It's fine.
Okay. But then I started tapping into who I am as just a person, and I'm a sweary person, I'm a snarky person. So I started having, I would have a necklace with a beautiful vintage Victorian rose, and it would say F you on it, or other forms of 4-letter words. And that went really well all the way through September, when Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away. And I started making jewelry in her honor, and that went really well. So between that and activism and feminism and just supporting humans, that the business has just kind of evolved a little more into activism types of jewelry.
Nice.
And then in February, my virtual assistant said, you should get into doing stickers. And I said, well, I had a terrible time making sure that they would last. And she says, no, here's some TikToks on how you laminate your stickers. So I started doing that. And I started at the end of January, and it was rolling out really well because I have this really dedicated group of clients. I've got the best customers in the world. And then I made one sticker that says, I don't F Republicans. And my assistant made a TikTok with her own narration and story, and we blew up on TikTok. And of course, all of this hit right when the ice storm happened. So I'm having my TikTok at this point is over 1 million views. At that point, I think we got up to 800,000 views that weekend. And I've got all these orders rolling in, and I have no power. I have no way to manage all of this. And by the time we were done, it was over 200 orders of that one sticker. Yeah. So I was, having this huge panic attack because we were going to be without power for a week, just like you were not set for it. So I did finally recover from that, and everything ended up okay. But since then, the stickers have really, really taken off. And it turns out a lot of the stuff I was making translates better into stickers than into jewelry. It's, you can't necessarily wear a necklace that says whatever I did call you bitch, but you can use it as a sticker.
Yeah, definitely. And also there just seems to be this, I've noticed, here at the tattoo shop, they have a sticker pack, and that's very popular. It's one of the things people will grab more than a t-shirt, and a lot of times is oh, this is cool. I can, and you also do enamel pins, correct?
I don't, unfortunately, not yet.
I thought, okay, I had a brain aneurysm then. I thought you did.
Darn it, no. I did get a Glowforge laser cutter I think it was the beginning of March. And that has been really fun. I've started making things with that, but that line hasn't started taking off quite yet. But although I did just list it in my shop this week, so hopefully people will start to see some of the acrylic pieces I've done with that soon too.
Nice. Yeah.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Well, you've obviously been a small business owner for a very long time, but for this particular business, did you turn to anybody for any advice or help, or did you use any resources that, helped you kind of get straight on what you needed to do?
Yeah, I joined a lot of different Etsy message boards to figure out how to promote myself and grow on their forum. They kind of have their own special way of doing SEO. So I knew that they had something special and I had no clue how to do it. So I joined a bunch of boards. And since then, I've kind of narrowed down to one board that I typically go to, and that's Etsy Underachievers Plus. Because those are people who have vetted the way the system works and they know the best practices to be able to grow your business that way.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good resource.
That is, yeah.
Especially because there's so many people doing crafty, creative things and they sell on Etsy. And, I think it's an overwhelming process when you go to start it. You have to figure out to take great pictures and then figure out great copy to put with the pictures and then, figure out a way to get people to come to your site. Yeah. And I mean, there's just so many moving parts when it comes to opening an Etsy store.
And the thing with Etsy is you think, oh yeah, I'm going to put, say, cute, if you're going to put like the actual thing that's on the necklace, like FU necklace, sometimes that doesn't work. You have to actually put in the search terms that people are going to use. So figuring out all of that has really been, one of the biggest challenges I had. But once you kind of figure out that rhythm, then it goes really well. Yeah. This is my bragging moment, but I checked on eRank last night and I'm in the top 3% of Etsy sellers in just over a year.
Nice.
That's fantastic. That congratulations.
So I mean, that's a hard achievement to make.
Yeah, it is. So, it is.
Yay, congratulations.
Thank you.
You said, before we get into the next question, you said that you guys kind of blew up on TikTok. So has your style, has your genre of crafting really appealed to the people on TikTok? Is that the platform that kind of y'all go to promote your business?
I'm terrible at it. I have a virtual assistant and I make the videos and then I say, make this work. I'll send the video to her and then she'll add sounds to it and hashtags that work best. TikTok likes controversy. They like to be up on pop culture and current politics and controversy. So, when you make a sticker that says, I don't F Republicans, it goes somewhere and it really takes off.
Yeah, definitely. So, I know a lot. We've had a couple of other people that have do crafty things, and they said that they took off after a TikTok video. Erin Lester of Tweety Tart, she makes bath products and like self-care type things, and it's all kind of themed around like anime or video games or things like that. And she said they did a video of just a bath bomb being put in a bath and it dissolving and something else. I can't remember all the details now. I'm blanking, but it just blew up. And then they started having like the best sales ever after that. So
I think the big thing with TikTok is consistency. And I'm not very consistent because it is hard, trying to make sure that I'm posting to all of the Facebook groups, to my Instagram, to all of these things constantly. I mean, I do get sick of the hamster wheel. And that's why I did hire Sarah as my virtual assistant, because she can handle some of that social media stuff and it's a little bit less that I have to dink around with.
Yeah. So that could just, answer the question I'm about to ask you. But, whenever you're running a business, it's not always rainbows and butterflies. Sometimes you have obstacles that you encounter and they can be challenging. How do you overcome them? Hiring a virtual assistant?
Yeah. That was exactly it. She's really... And, she's just really helped me. She answers questions that people have. She'll put things out on social media for me. It's really been an amazing investment.
How did you go about finding her? Kind of tell people who are listening what if they wanted something like that. What are the steps?
I actually stumbled across her. She's not actually a virtual assistant. I was mentioning on one of the Facebook pages I belong to. I think it was Crafty Liberal Bitches.
I love the names.
It's great.
These are fantastic.
But I needed someone to help with my social media, and she sent me a message, and we just absolutely clicked. We just have a lot in common. We're both moms. We're both kind of snarky, very progressive people. she lives on the other side of the country, so she gets 3 hours difference to be able to tackle issues before I can be up sometimes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So it just worked out perfect.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I don't know if I ever really let you finish that thought on, what obstacles you have and how you overcome them, but is there any general kind of issue? That was weird.
Everything's fine.
Okay. Well, we'll cut that part out. That'll go on the
Yay for post.
Good thing this isn't live. Is there any kind of general kind of issues that come up, like say the USPS? Do you have like shipping out things to clients? Is there, what are when you have a craft business like that and you're making goods and you're sending them out on a regular basis and utilizing the mail or any kind of mailing service? I assume that comes with some challenges. Are there any other things that, you're like, this is, if I didn't have this one thing.
Yeah.
I think especially since the installment of Louis DeJoy to the post office, that's really kind of been one of my bigger challenges. But this is one of the times when being a liberal running a business for liberals really is wonderful. Yeah. People understand. Like, yeah. I have only had one person get upset over a shipping issue, and I was able to make that right simply by refunding him and saying, I'm sorry. I out of almost 2,000 sales, I have perfect 5-star reviews. God, I sound like such a braggart. Excuse me.
No, go ahead. That's the point.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
But I definitely found and decided early on in this business that I was going to underpromise and overdeliver. So I ship out as quick as I can. But when there is a shipping issue, my people have been incredibly understanding. And if something is lost, I just don't ask a question. I just resend it. Yeah. My investment in these things is financially very, very low. So I can afford to send something out again if I need to. And it's just the right thing to do. Like, I've heard other Etsy sellers say, oh no, tell them to wait. Don't replace anything. That's not right. Like, if Amazon misplaced your package, they would replace it. And I know that Amazon is a multi-billion-dollar company and I'm just one teeny little business, but yeah.
I don't know, that kind of that care to customers and that customer service goes a long way. People remember that. Like, hey, she asked no questions, she just refunded or she resent. Yeah. And that it makes me more likely to deal with a business that's been very accommodating. And I always feel bad when I have to be like, hey, I didn't get my thing.
I'm sorry.
What do we do? Like, because like I know that hurts that small business, but at the same time, you're kind of like, I wanted the product that I ordered.
Well, and it all comes down to your response, like how you handle it. If you go in guns a-blazing, just planning on being pissed off, then of course people are going to respond in kind.
Right. Right.
I'm paraphrasing, but I always think of that Maya Angelou phrase, people won't remember what you said or did, but they will remember how you made them feel. Yeah. So if I make every one of my clients feel cherished and loved, then that's going to be a good thing. So, and I really do. I love all of my clients. But that has been one big thing I've learned about myself is I don't want to do personalized work. I don't want to do custom work, any of that. For a moment, last year, I was considering offering a business where I would do cremains and DNA jewelry. And then I realized I was getting into it for the wrong reasons, partially just for money and partially because it was something cool and I could make great photos of it. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing to do. And I realized that that's kind of the most personalized stuff you can do out there. Yeah. And I just had to have a pretty frank conversation with myself in February and said, wait a second, this is not who I am and this is not what I want to do. So I discontinued that line immediately.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's great that you noticed that right away and didn't waste any more time on something that you knew wasn't going to align with your personality or your values or just long-term viability. Yeah. When you're creating products, and you're listening to the different pop culture things that are happening, what technically, you sit down and probably do a lot of this designing yourself. Do you have any particular programs that you utilize that you really enjoy using to make these ideas come to life?
I'm terrible. I should use Adobe Illustrator, but I'm too lazy to learn it. So I literally designed everything in Photoshop.
Yeah.
I'm 100% Photoshop. And then if I have to turn something into an SVG file so I can cut it on my Glowford, I just hack and use Silhouette Studio. Like I said, I understand that there are ways to do this the right way and more technical, but I'm not an actual graphic designer. So if that's how I'm going to muddle through and I'm happy, then that's the way it's going to be.
I mean, anytime I did any graphic design stuff, it was always in Photoshop.
Yeah, no. I'm the same way. If I do a lot of work in CAD programs, and I know I don't do it the way it's supposed to be done. If somebody who was a professional who'd actually been trained in the program saw me, they'd probably be like, "What? Why?"
Yeah,
But it works. This is what I know. This is what I know how to do, and it works. And the finished product, you can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I had a couple of people say, like, you know, Illustrator would be easier to do that. I know, but I can actually work Photoshop.
Yeah, I already know this one.
I can't work Illustrator.
It may be easier for you, but it's not easier for me. And you know, it's again kind of having that frank, open discussion with yourself and realizing who you are. And I can beat my head against the wall and I can make myself crazy and sad and feel bad about it, or I can just realize this is working and I don't have to impress anybody else.
Right. I mean, I went through a whole process there a while back using an app on my iPad Pro called Procreate, and it's an art app basically, which doesn't sound like it, but it's an art app where you can create all kinds of really amazing art type things in there. And I had to watch so many YouTube videos and go online and look up on how to actually. It was a massive program. I mean, it's like Photoshop, but it's like Photoshop. Well, it's probably more like Illustrator than Photoshop, but it has all the layers, and you can do text, you can do painting, you can do all kinds of things. And it was like, it took me months to really get good at it, and I haven't used it in a while. And I know if I tried to sit down and like work it, I'd be like, I've forgotten how to do everything. I've forgotten everything.
Yeah.
I considered looking at Procreate too, and I thought the same kind of thing, like, why invest in something that's just going to make me crazy when I can make Photoshop work? Like, honestly, if they would just let me export SVGs in Photoshop, I would be the happiest kid ever.
Maybe we need to be sending in some, tips. Hey, next update for
but I have a feeling that doing that on purpose. I mean, honestly, it behooves them. And to be completely honest, Photoshop really isn't a graphics program. It's not supposed to be. No. So, I mean, in some ways, I don't blame them, but it sure would be nice if they weren't buttheads about it. So.
Maybe somebody will devise some sort of converter
or hack,
where you can do it really easy, just like pop.
That's what I use the Silhouette Studio for, is to convert things to SVG. So I mean, it's a workaround and it's a hack, but I'm happy. So
it works. If it works, it works.
If you've got a system that works for you, then and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right.
Yep.
Is there, any memories you have of running this business that make you go, this is why I do what I do, and it just is like the joy that keeps, even on the hard days, this memory will pop into your mind and go, okay, this is why I started this business?
Absolutely. All I have to do is take a moment and look at my reviews and see the happy customers. And then also I've gained a few friends that I can't believe I've been so lucky. I have other Etsy seller friends and a few people who just came as customers who have become actual friends and advisors in this business. And all I have to do is look at my Facebook feed and realize, oh my gosh, I'm getting paid to do something I absolutely love and hang out with people that are just, the kind of people I want to surround myself with. Every day I wake up, except Tuesdays, and just feel joy at like, wow, somebody believes in me enough to spend their hard-earned dollars to buy my products and to share them with their friends and family. And that's a really big honor. That's huge.
That's awesome.
Especially, where we are financially right now, there's a lot of people who are really scared and in a hard place. To know that people take a little bit of that time to support me, even if they're not financially supporting, they're sending messages or, oh, I love this, or commenting on my Instagram, things like that.
Yeah.
That's really life affirming.
I think that's the thing that a lot of people forget about with small businesses, that, I hear, well, I just don't have the money to spend in a place like that, or I don't have the extra for that. And it's like, you don't have to necessarily spend money.
Right.
But help me promote my business. That's awesome. That means it's one less thing I have to do.
Help get the word out, and, help push the algorithm to, do the likes and the comments and the subscribes and all the things, because it really does help, even if it's not, monetarily.
Yeah, I think that's
more.
People forget that's another part of it, and that you don't always have to be spending money, but you can be supportive in other ways. So that's awesome. Well, you said that this business taught you that you absolutely didn't want to offer custom work. But has it taught you anything else about yourself, maybe more on a personal level rather than business level? Like what is different about this business per se than the photography business or any other entrepreneurial endeavor you've been a part of?
I think for me, it really comes back to honor my authentic self and who I really am. Not everybody loves to swear. It's one of my most favorite things about being an adult.
Right?
I agree.
I love it. And I know that's just such a silly thing, but truly honoring who you are in your heart and not stifling that. When I had my portrait business, I was in Montana, which is a much more conservative business and area. One day I was doing some senior portraits, and it was the day after the 2007 National Convention, 2008 National Republican Convention. And these people came in, they were like, "Oh my gosh, that's Sarah Palin. She's the best thing ever." And I had to suppress who I was as a human and be like, "Oh, hey," and I couldn't express who I was on social media, all of those things at that time. And that was a real problem for me. So suppressing that just made me feel terrible. And now with this, like I said earlier, it's anesthetic for the soul. I get it all out. I'm expressing who I really am. And if somebody doesn't like it, they don't have to hang around me. They don't have to spend money with me.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I was talking about that with my husband yesterday about, ugliness that happens on the internet, people, arguing with each other that are never going to change each other's minds. Yeah. And the simple fact is, if you don't like it, you can block, or you can
you can
unfollow, or you can you don't have to submit yourself to that sort of stuff. So it's like, if it's not your cup of tea, just keep on walking then. You don't have to
be mean about it.
There's quite a few people that I know in real life that have complete opposite views of me, and rather than say something nasty on their Facebook post or whatever, I just go, okay, well, I'm gonna we're just gonna keep on going this way.
And I unfollow those people and unfriend those people, and you don't have to do it with blackness in your heart and animosity. You just have to be able to move on.
Well, and sometimes it's an act to prevent that blackness,
absolutely,
or animosity from building.
Yes.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's not just for me. It's for you too.
Yeah, I want to still keep my good opinion of you, or at least as much as I possibly can. So let's just part ways.
We're gonna agree to disagree, and I'm just not gonna pay attention to what you have to say anymore.
Yeah. And vice versa, maybe.
Exactly. Well, there's even times when you're not going to change somebody's mind, but maybe you can help them see a different perspective, and that's happened. Right. I mean, I've had a few people say, "Oh man, I was going to unfriend you over your politics in 2008 or 2016, and it was really driving me nuts. But now I can understand where you're coming from. And holy cow, that guy was really bad. And you helped me understand that." Or I've helped people understand how important vaccines are for children and things like that. And now, especially, seeing where that has grown. So you may not be able to change somebody's mind immediately, but maybe sometimes with exposure, you can help them understand that there are different ways.
Planting the seed.
Plant the seed,
Plant the seed,
Yep.
And nurture them.
Yeah, that's good. The authentic self. You can be your authentic self. I think that's awesome. And having known you through your various, stages of business, I can definitely say, you're happier now than I've ever seen you. And I think that's awesome that you're able to have an outlet for your passions and your ideals and, get to make a business out of it.
Yeah.
So that's great. Do you have any advice for anybody else who's wanting to start their own Etsy business, or just, running a business in general that you have found that was helpful to you? Or maybe it's better to say, was there any advice that you got when you started out that really helped you and that you want to pass along?
Really, again, stay true to yourself and read everything. Always be open to new things. Always read everything. Always be planning on the next big thing, but also don't get lost in always trying to find the next big thing. Have your core items or your core services that people always know that they can turn to. People know they can always turn to feminism jewelry with my company, regardless of what I'm doing. So, but stay true to yourself, but be willing to grow and explore and figure out who you may become in the future.
That's awesome.
Nice.
I hope that makes sense.
That's very good advice. Yes.
What does the future hold for you and your business? You were talking about offering some new stuff and opening up a new branch. So tell us a little bit about where you're going to go with all that.
I'm going to keep continuing on with making snarky stickers because I'm really enjoying that. Well, that's really a lot of fun. And then, as you stated, and I stated earlier, I do plan on hopefully branching into Snark Supply, where I will be offering things that I wasn't able to find when I was making other products. I started doing a lot of my pieces with resin before I got my laser cutter, and I really like the look of the laser cut jewelry, but I could never find things in my style, which of course has swearing and dirty pictures and things like that. So Snark Supply will continue on with that and offering new and fun and innovative products to other crafters who maybe don't necessarily follow the trends that everybody else does.
Well, that's awesome.
Very cool.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
So tell everybody where they can find you at your Etsy shop and all your social media accounts.
Excellent. Well, you can find me everywhere at snarkheart.com. That's actually my brand new website. We just launched that this week. It's still kind of in its baby phases, trying to figure out who it is. But if you go to Etsy and mash it all together and look for Snark Heart, you'll find me there. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. If you join my Facebook VIP group, that's Snark Heart VIP, we do have free giveaways every single week. There's always free stickers on the page, free jewelry. It's a great little community of supportive people. So that's really a fun place. So
very nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. Very nice.
Well, so everybody needs to go check them out and if you need anything that says something snarky or, not necessarily political, just, it really fuels the, little darkness in your heart.
If you've got some pent up frustrations about a certain topic that you need to get out, check it out. See if you can find something.
Well, Amy, thanks so much for being on with us today and talking about your business. And we really enjoyed having you.
Thank you for having me. It's really been an honor.
It was great.
Good deal. Well, guys, we hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll catch you next week with a whole new lineup of people. We'll see you then.
Have a good one.
Thanks, guys.
Do you have a story to tell? We want to hear it. If you'd like to be a guest on our podcast and share your story, contact us on our website at PaynePoints.com or any of the social media linked on our website. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on either Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. We'd appreciate a review, a like, or a comment to let us know what you think. You can find all of our podcasts linked on our website under the podcast tab. Once again, thanks for joining us, and we want to wish everybody a wonderful day.